Hello everyone! As you see, I'm dressed Christmassy, which means we will be making Christmas cookies, which is super exciting. And I have my brand new apron that I got at Disneyland, so I'm excited to use it. And today we will be making what's called Žabí huby, which translates into a frog's mouth. It sounds funny, even in the Czech way it sounds really funny. Because this cookie goes into the oven closed, and when it comes out of the oven it's open like a mouth. So that's why they just call it frog's mouth, and they are super delicious, and I really enjoy making it, and because it's super simple, it doesn't have to rest for hours in the fridge. So I hope that you will join me and you will make these and you will not regret it. So let's start with the recipe. We will need 2 cups, I'm drooling, sorry. I'm already excited how it will taste. So we will need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a cup powdered sugar, 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of vinegar. Here I have butter, 1 stick, and 6 tablespoons. And this is for the filling. So for the filling we will need 1.5 cups walnuts, 1 1/4 of a cup powdered sugar, 2 egg whites. So many recipes for Christmas cookies require lots of egg yolks, so then you end up with a bunch of egg whites. So this is a great recipe to use your egg whites. And also many people put it all together, like for example me, I had 6 egg whites in a mug. So then I put it on a scale. So for all of you who have the same issue, so you don't have to crack new eggs, just put it on a scale, and 2 egg whites equal about 2.6 ounces. So that's what I did, and then we will sugar coat them in powdered sugar. So let's start with this recipe. I recommend putting out your butter ahead of time so it has a time to soften up, which I forgot, so I will put it in the microwave for a little bit to have it more softened. I will be using my KitchenAid mixer, but if you don't have one, you can put it all in a bowl or on a pastry board and then just work with your hands to create a dough. So we will add 2 cups all-purpose flour, 1/4 of a cup powdered sugar, and let's actually mix this together because it's always better to mix dry ingredients. Now let's add 1 egg, add 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, last we will add 1 stick of butter and 6 tablespoons. You will need to use a hook attachment, so let's start mixing. You want to start slow because the flour and powdered sugar would just come out. So first let's mix it in, and then we will be adding more speed. So I will add a little more speed. It takes some time because the butter is so much of it, and it takes time to combine it with the dry ingredients. This looks good. It's all mixed in, and now you want to work with your clean hands and just to kind of scoop it up and round it up like that so it's a nice even ball. Let's put it on a plate, and we will leave it in the fridge. Covered it up so it doesn't absorb any smells from the fridge. And now we will be working on a filling. First we will need to ground our walnuts, 1.5 cups. So let's just put a little bit in and let's grind these. It has to be really fine, as you see. It was done in no time. I really love this grinding machine. So let's keep adding more ingredients. Add 1 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. Mix it in. Now we will be adding 2 egg whites. and this is what will combine it all together. So work with it until you don't see any dry ingredients and everything is combined, which doesn't take long. Now we can get our dough out of the fridge and work on frog's mouths. Prepare a baking tray lined with parchment paper and let's preheat the oven to 340. You will need the all-purpose flour for our board. This is our dough on a beautiful Christmas plate. If you leave it in a fridge, let's say you make it a day ahead of time, it will harden pretty hard because it's butter. So you will need to let it sit for the butter to have chance to soften up. So I recommend doing it right away. It's better. This way it's soft. I'll put some flour on a rolling pin and let's roll these. I like to put more flour underneath if it's a little more sticky. But it's a beautiful dough. This is probably good thickness. It's not so thick and not too thin, as you see. And here I have an amazing tool which is called dumpling maker, but this is super easy to use on these. But if you don't have this, I will show you how to use it. You got a wine glass and a fork. It's more work, but it still works. But let's start with this one. With the bottom, we will cut a circle. You push it, circle comes out. You put the circle right here. And now we can fill it. I recommend using about a teaspoon. If it doesn't come out easily, use 2 teaspoons. Because I was holding it in my hands, it's a little more complicated. And now you just close it, just like that. It might not close everything, so you just help it with your hands. And like I said before, they are coming in closed and they will open up, which is perfect. And let's set it on a baking tray. I will do another one with this, just so you see how easy it is. Comes out, put it right here. Now I'm not holding it in my hands, so it's easier. You don't want to put too much because it will be leaking otherwise. You can try to center it. And now we close it. Yep, it's leaking a little bit. It's actually okay if it's leaking because it will open up anyway. But try to put less, I guess, a little less so it doesn't leak. Now let's try to do it with the wine glass. We have a pretty circle. Let's lay it on a board so it's easier to put the filling in. And now you just fold it like that, set it up, you press a little bit, dip the fork in the flour so it doesn't stick. And here it is. So it works also good. So now I will continue. And now we close it. Ta-da! Done super fast. And I really like to work with this dough because it doesn't stick. It's just beautifully smooth. It's a joy to work with this one. Now we have these little leftover dough pieces that we can easily add to the new cut. So I will cut new part here. And now you will work with it just a little bit to kind of combine it. Super easy. Sprinkle more flour on a board and on a pin so it doesn't stick. Flatten it. See if it sticks like that. That means it needs a little more flour. Beautiful thickness. And now we can, I kind of touch it like this to see if the thickness is even, and then fix it if it needs to be. But this looks perfect and we can keep going. First tray is done, so let's bake it on 340 for about 18 minutes, but make sure to check your oven because every oven bakes different. And while we are baking this, because it takes 18 minutes, let's work on the other tray. So I recommend using 2 trays. If you roll the dough even thinner, then you will have more of them. Filling, it depends. If you roll it thinner, you might be just alright with the filling. If you have it a little thicker, you might have too much. And if just in case you run out of the filling, you can also use a preserve, but it has to be thick, otherwise it will come out when it opens up. But I think this amount is perfect for this much of frog's mouth. 18 minutes is done, so let's pull it out. And of course I will use my beautiful new Disney mitt. I love it. Look at that mini. Okay, let's get them out. And as you see, they open up. Not all of them, but that's okay. We need to cool them off and then we will coat them in a powdered sugar. When these are cool to touch, you can transport them into a tray. This is how the bottom is supposed to look. Because we will need to finish working on the rest of the dough. This is the one with the fork. The last tray is resting, so I still have some more. But for now we can already sugar coat these. And here I have just regular powdered sugar. I know it has a cornstarch, but that's okay if it's a little too sticky. Normally I make my own, but in this case it's okay. We'll make it more sweet. So just sugar coat them and they look beautiful. You can still see the mouth open. Froggy's mouth. Yep. So here they are. Ta-da! All of them, and they're nicely sugar coated. So let's try one. And I'll pick one with the open mouth, which is this one. This one is actually still warm. It almost fell down. So this is one of the last ones that I added from the last tray. This is so good. They are one of my favorites. So the outside shell is actually crispy, crunchy, a little bit, and then the inside is more like chewy and soft, and then you have the outside sugar which gives the nice sweetness to it. It's just amazing, amazing flavor. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and this is actually not that hard to make and it's pretty fast, I would say. So I hope you give it a try, and if you do, I would love to see photos. Post them on my Facebook page or Instagram. My Facebook, Czech Cookbook. And I hope that you have a Merry Christmas. Bye guys.